So the first thing I'd like to ask you about is the role of art and religion. It's particularly with the works you've done that have been inspired by the passions and the emotions, human emotions. You've talked in the press conference about taking the tradition of European painting, the tradition of devotional painting, and bringing it into the 20th century with video. And what interests me about that series, or that body of work in particular, is that the tradition of that type of painting, a lot of it originally was made specifically for religious spaces like churches, and it was only afterwards that it moved into museums and galleries. Whereas your work is made specifically for the gallery space. So in terms of gallery and museum space, do you see it as having a religious potential, art having a religious potential to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're making something that touches the depths of a human being in terms of their inner self, anything that emerges out of ourselves from a genuine sort of unguarded place is ultimately a sacred act, no matter what religion you happen to be kind of following, or even if you're not following religion. It's something that is one of the essential points of human beings, and all of these things in front of us now came out of someone's mind and heart, you know, tables and recorders and cups, and they all came out of this kind of inspiration of transforming the material world into our inner vision, you know, and what we see inside. So I think in some way, I think museums are functioning as a religious sort of spiritual place. Maybe religion is not the right word, you know, because I always think of religion in a more political sense. These are political institutions, and some of them are, you know, filled with people with very good intentions and really deep knowledge, but they are fundamentally political institutions. Whereas the individual, in the religious sense, that's the core of the religious experience, is what happens within you, you know, as opposed to the general congregation or the general population. So anyway, yeah, so art museums have a special place, especially in today's world where our lives are filled with so many messages floating all around us, affecting us. Museums are a place where you can be quiet and still and just focus on another person's dreams, really, you know.
About the internet, do you have any strong feelings about the way it's developing, or its potential, the potential for video art online or internet space? Is that something that interests you? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think the internet is really an amazing phenomenon. I cannot believe that, having gone through the Vietnam era and severe censorship of my own government on artists' work, I can't believe that this huge, global, transnational root system, this network, this web of relationships has evolved and developed to the point that I can go on my computer and hear unmediated a voice of some individual person halfway around the world. I mean, that's a miracle in today's age. And I know the internet is already being censored in certain countries, China and so on.
But as I said actually in the press conference, it's like all the video equipment you've used before is originally military technology.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, artists always transform things. What we do is we detoxify and transform things and transmute them, transmuting lead into gold. You know, that's what we do. We can take anything really and turn it around. But I think the internet of today is possibly one of the most accurate representations of the social nature of human beings. I mean, sitting in this room with us right now, and I'm not talking about technology, I'm just talking about you, is a network, a web of relations that goes back to your childhoods, the cultures, the countries you came from, your parents, your family, which I know nothing about, the web, the circle of your friends who you know, and your likes and dislikes, the music you like. I mean, we're just meeting for the first time, but I'm still aware of this tremendous invisible root system that goes out all around the world just from your cells, let alone your computer. So for the first time in human life, we have an artificial technological system that can embody and represent that invisible world. And I think what digital technology is giving us is the ability to represent invisible things, not visible things. I mean, the essence of digital is a code. A code is not a thing. It's not a thing like this cup or a stone or a table. A code is some conceptual, metaphysical element that has no physical existence, and yet it's the most powerful tool we have today to understand our world, both in terms of the ability to model things with a computer, the ability to communicate through digital web systems like the internet. And it's all based on this underlying, fundamentally immaterial element that is fast becoming the whole way the human beings, the way we work. And even our own selves are being re-visualized today, unlike the mechanics of the anatomy that, as we used to understand it, in terms of force and reaction and the hydraulics, and today's model of a human being is a code. It's called DNA, and that's not coincidental. That we have remapped the human being as a coded system in terms of biological elements, and that's the most accurate model of a human being we have. That's not coincidental that that's occurring in the same age that's giving us the computer that also functions on a code. So it's part of a much larger movement to somewhere that maybe we don't understand quite yet where we're going, but it's very powerful.